Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It's your man Clubboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly, where today, well, once again, it is Weekly Wednesday predictions, and we are already to week 16. Obviously, as I call Christmas week, because usually that's the week that always revolves around Christmas. Obviously, they're trying to make NFL more fun because now they're adding, just like they do for Thanksgiving, they're doing 3 games on Christmas every season now. It's just become official. But obviously, everything seems to be spread out. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But we got a lot going on. A lot of games to cover for the final 3 weeks. But anyways, if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and let's get down to business. Thursday Night Football, we have once again another terrible matchup. We have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Los Angeles Rams. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to brag about these being terrible matchups, but we have not had a good game on Thursday Night Football like all year. It's been bad. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound bad, but it's just been bad. But first off, we got the Saints taking on the Rams. When the Rams are healthy, they've been looking so dominant. The Saints, I just feel like, they're just such a mid team. I don't really know what to expect out of them. I don't feel like they're going to really go places. But the Rams have just been playing a lot better as of recently, and I'm going to say the Rams take care of business there. Then on Saturday, December 23rd, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh has been so grown tired. Obviously, Kenny Pickett is still injured. Mitchell Trubisky sucks, and now they decided to go with Mason Rudolph. At this point, I don't know if the Steelers... I think the Steelers are in jeopardy of having a losing record for the first time in Mike Tomlin's career, which is crazy just to think about. Cincinnati, despite not having Joe Burrow, Jake Browning has actually looked really good. They're obviously, unfortunately, lost Jamar Chase for some time, but we don't know if that's going to be a factor. I think Cincinnati is really continuing to show some dominance. I think that they're going to continue to win these games. I think Cincinnati will win here. Next up, Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers season is basically over. I mean, Herbert's done. I'm assuming they're just going to rest Eckler and Keenan Allen for the rest of the season. Their defense is absolutely terrible. I mean, they lost to the Raiders of all teams, 63-21. Terrible score. Buffalo on the other side, they were a team that wasn't even considered to make the playoffs. Now Buffalo is really looking dominant. What a win against the Dallas Cowboys. I think Buffalo continues their dominance against a depleted Chargers team. Buffalo should get the victory here. All right, going on to Sunday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Well, yeah, every game's on Christmas Eve this year. So it's a weird, it's all weird. It's a weird turnaround. First off, we had the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta gave Carolina a win. Atlanta is that bad. I mean, seriously, I don't know what to say. Whoever makes it out of that division, I mean, they're lucky to get a home game to just begin with. Indianapolis is just one of those teams that's somehow surprisingly winning based on their obvious easy schedule. So I'm just going to say Indianapolis keeps on and they keep on winning. So that's how I see it. Next up, Seattle Seahawks at Tennessee Titans. Tennessee is officially eliminated from playoff contention. Seattle, on the other hand, what a dominant win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Despite no Geno Smith, Drew Lock really stepped up and played fantastic, leading the game-winning touchdown drive. That's what you need. Seattle can keep their dominance going. I feel like they will win this game against Tennessee. Next up, Detroit Lions at Minnesota Vikings. Finally, Detroit and Minnesota are facing off for the first time this year. Detroit, if they win, they'll win the division for the first time in forever. I mean, it's been forever since Detroit's won it. Minnesota decided to switch around quarterbacks. They're keeping Nick Mullins as the starter. It did well for them, but they didn't win. But Minnesota still, I guess, can be a team to really consider when you got a really loaded offense with Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson and company. It's going to be a tough one in Minnesota for sure. If I had to pick between the two, I'm going to actually say Minnesota gets the victory here. I don't know why, but I know Detroit has never done well in Minnesota. Minnesota never beats Detroit in Detroit. I feel like it might be this. I might be wet, but I'm going to say Minnesota wins here. Next up, Washington Commanders versus the New York Jets. Washington and the Jets are both teams that have been eliminated from postseason contention. No word if Aaron Rodgers is even going to play this season. He got activated off the IR today. That was his deadline. They decided to do it, but I'm not necessarily believing that he'll even step foot this season. I just don't think it's a good idea. I let him wait till next year. Despite anything, this game really is meaningless. I'm going to say I'll give the Jets the win. I think they just want to show that they can win games, and I think they just want to try to win out so they know they can really have a shot next year. Next up, Green Bay Packers at Carolina Panthers. Panthers actually won a game. That's great for them. Packers defense looks absolutely atrocious. I don't know how their defensive coordinator will stick around. They made Baker Mayfield literally look like Tom Brady. I don't know what's going on. After winning these crazy games, now they lost the last two. It's not Jordan Love's fault either. He's actually been playing very solid. So you know what? Every time I keep picking the Packers, they lose. Every time I'm picking the opposing team, they win. So I'm just going to say the Carolina Panthers win because honestly, I have no faith in really Joe Barry at all, but you never know. But yeah, I don't know. But my assumption is the Panthers will win, if you know what I mean. Next up, Cleveland Browns taking on the Houston Texans. I will say that that's a tough one. I think Stroud is out for another game, if I'm correct. Cleveland, despite not having Joe Flacco as their quarterback, no Nick Chubb, they're still winning games, and they could. I mean, it's still possible they can win the division without close. It's not that it's very possible. Houston without Stroud is not going to really seem comfortable winning a game. I think Houston will be a contender next year, but not this year. Without Stroud, I just don't think they really have a chance. Cleveland, I say, will win this game. Next up, Jacksonville Jaguars at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jacksonville is on a 3-game losing streak. They just do not look good at all. Tampa Bay, obviously a great victory against Green Bay. If I had to pick between these two teams, a battle in Florida, I honestly am going to go with Tampa Bay. I don't know why, but Jacksonville's just been playing really bad as of lately, and I have no idea why. Then we got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Chicago Bears. Honestly, I don't see really the Arizona Cardinals winning another game this season. Even the Kyler Murray back, it just doesn't really seem fair. I think Arizona definitely will land Marvin Harrison in the draft if they continue to lose. At Chicago, if they win a game, I think that's just dominance. They can I think they've been playing a lot better as of recently. Even though they've lost games, I've seen the same thing. I actually think Chicago will win. Then we got the battle of the overrated in the Dallas Cowboys versus the Miami Dolphins. They are the same exact team. It's insane to me because literally their regular season dominance and then playoffs comes and they'll choke. That's how I look at both these teams. They are like the contender pretenders. Like I look at literally these are both these teams. I don't know really what to think of them. Now maybe I think Miami has the slight edge because but a lot of it could come down to if Tyreek Hill plays or not. I don't know. I mean, I need him to. I want to win fantasy, but come on. Between the two, Dallas got absolutely torn apart last week. I'm going to say Miami gets a dub. Next up, we got the New England Patriots taking on the Denver Broncos. that wouldn't necessarily be Sunday Night Football. And it looks like it's on NFL Network. But I guess that's what it is. That's not really a good matchup, but I think the Patriots have just been terrible as of lately. They really just need a quarterback, and Denver still kind of has a chance to make the playoffs, so I'm just going to say Denver wins so they can up their playoff resume. All right, Monday, we have a triple header on Christmas. First off, we had the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City has just owned LA for like the last bunches of years, ever since Mahomes has took over. Pretty much I feel like Kansas City is going to get back on top and try to get themselves in a great position for the 1 seed. I say Kansas City wins here. Then we got the New York Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. First time these two teams are facing off this season. Giants, I think, lost Tommy DeVito to a concussion. Their quarterback situation has just been an absolute atrocious. I just don't see Philly dropping a fourth game in a row, especially against a team that last year they just absolutely demolished. Philly should get this win. I mean, Philly, looking at their schedule, they just should win out. And then Monday Night Football, we probably have the best matchup of the year. The Baltimore Ravens taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Possible Super Bowl matchup, but apparently they already created an alternate logo that's blue and red because a lot of people were kind of catching on to the NFL when they had a purple and red logo. But honestly, it's been wild. I don't know who's going to win here, but it's a tough one. If I had to pick, I'm going to go with San Francisco with the win. Anything could happen, but it's been wild. And if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, we will see you next time.